rise to speak today about the Perkins Loan Program, which we spent some time on yesterday and over the last couple of weeks. And yesterday on the floor, Senator Baldwin from Wisconsin is with us. She's worked so hard on this, as have many others. We have more than a quarter of the Senate working together to try to get an extension of the Perkins Loan Program. Many Americans are familiar with it. It's one of the best ways to guarantee access to higher education for young people across the country. We've always said, and I've always said, and we will say it again, that if young people can learn more now, they'll earn more later. It's not just a rhyme. There is a direct connection between learning and earning, both in the context of early education as well as higher education. We need to make sure that all students, regardless of their income or the circumstances of their birth, have a fair shot to go to college and to have the opportunity to reach their full potential. Perkins allows those students to do just that. These are fixed rate, low interest loans meant for students with exceptional financial needs. And because these loans are part of a revolving fund, as one student pays them off, another student can use the dollars to receive a loan. Just by way of example, in one state, in Pennsylvania, in the academic year 2013-14, some 40,000 students at some 100 colleges and universities were able to go to school because of these loans. Nationwide, that 40,000 student number in Pennsylvania is a much bigger number, of course, almost 540,000, 539,000 students. So for many students, this is the choice between going to college and not going at all. It's that stark. For example, the Coalition of Higher Education Assistance Organizations tells us that 1/4 of all loan recipients are from families with incomes less than just $30,000 a year. Unfortunately, because of inaction here in the Congress, these students would be left high and dry if we don't take action. I shared a story yesterday. Nikki Azzolo, who was going to school at a recent graduate of Edinburgh University in northwestern Pennsylvania. I mentioned yesterday Kyla McBride. She's from Temple, and I will refer back to her story in a moment. But when we consider Nikki's story, or Kyla, or so many young people across Pennsylvania and across the country, we have to focus on what our priorities are here in the United States Senate. We do have a bipartisan opportunity here. Democrats and Republicans coming together to extend the Perkins Loan Program. Just by way of example, when you consider those students in Pennsylvania, here's what it breaks down to when you go institution by institution. This will not be a full recitation of all the institutions in Pennsylvania, but just here's a few. In Pennsylvania, here's what this could mean for individual students and schools. At Temple University, 6,200 some students. At Penn State, 3,100. At the University of Pittsburgh, 2,800. Westchester University, 1,000. So they're the kind of numbers, just to give you a few examples of the impact. We know that Perkins has been part of our law and part of the life of our colleges and universities for decades. Some 30 million Americans have benefited. So we have to consider what this means for those students, what this means for our states, and of course what it means for the rest of the country. I know we're going to be having more of a discussion here and offering a consent request, so maybe this time I'll yield.